So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey everybody, it's a new episode of Hong Kong. I'm your host, Mohammed Magdi, sitting with my two beautiful brown best friends.
Oh, wow. Immediately, before even like saying anything, after beautiful goes brown first,
Yes.
and then best friends.
Yeah. Well,
Showing
brown
us-
first means that I'm not brown.
Yeah.
I'm distancing myself from you guys.
It shows your priority in describing people. Beautiful. First of all, you're like, I better, first introduce a little compliment, which obviously is insincere as being guys.
Yes.
And then you were brown, because that's
Yeah.
the thing you really notice of us.
Yeah, of course.
And then the next one was friends, you said? The word friends?
Yeah, well, that was the actual compliment.
Yeah, that was from
That's
like
the
those-
only insincere one.
That was from one of those business books of like how to connect with clients. You know what I mean? It's one
when
of
you
those
think
things.
of a compliment sandwich,
Yeah.
How to break the ice in 5 seconds.
Exactly, yeah. Call
Bring
them
up their race, bring up their skin color, and
Exactly.
then call them a friend.
There you go.
Absolutely, right over
Yes.
there. Even our
Easy
guest
peasy.
today knows better than you, Mo. Yeah.
They do- he knows better than me about what, being brown or being...
About how to cover the brownness of your terms that you used just now.
Oh, yeah, true.
And being a friend.
And being a friend. Exactly. Yeah, he knows better. Exactly. He's able to do that much better than you have so far in all these 5 years of doing this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Wait, he is an experienced podcaster as well.
Well, that's why he's doing it so well. Let's introduce him, actually.
Yes,
Mohammed.
okay. Well, he can introduce himself.
Wow.
A returning guest.
It's the laziest
Yeah.
host ever. Like,
Seriously, man.
First 5 seconds, my brown friends.
My
Why don't
brown-
you tell them who
Why
you
don't
are?
you guys? I'm gonna just take a nap
Hey,
now.
you said I'm your friend, right? Why don't you
Yeah.
tell me? Why don't you tell the audience something about me that's not related to my career?
Oh, it's not related to your career.
Introduce me as a friend.
Okay. Well, I have my buddy here, Daniel Fernandes. He lives in India, and the first time we met, actually, that's career stuff.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Yeah, wow, I love it. Mo's completely
no,
lost. Like, I know you
well, I
nothing
know
more
something,
outside
but
of
I
the
don't know
world
if
of
it's-
making me money. Like, why do I have a connection with you other than profit?
One thing that you said that is cool that I like about you is that you take 2 days a week of doing absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
2
something
days
that
a
is
week.
not public.
2 days a week.
2 days
Wow.
every single week.
Is
he
it
does
a
nothing.
specific day?
It depends. Usually it's a Monday and a Tuesday because I return from touring.
Yeah.
So I prefer to schedule those at the start of the week because
Yeah.
towards the weekend, you know how it is, it gets hectic.
Yeah.
But yeah, rest days are
There you go.
so
That's something
important.
about I know about you as a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah,
But
that
have
I
you-
like to sleep. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he likes that as well.
He likes to sleep.
But have you heard Jerry Seinfeld's bit about like him not doing anything, the doing nothing bit? Where he's like, you have to be very careful because it sounds very easy to do.
Yeah.
You know, but anytime. So during the days of nothingness,
Yeah.
may I ask, is there any time that something seeps in and happens?
It could. I mean, it could be a phone call. It could. You don't know where it could creep up from.
Yeah.
A phone call. You start feeling hungry,
And you're like, I gotta eat, but that's doing something.
But I'm not. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So
That's
do,
when we hear from our
Yeah.
sponsor today, Food Panda.
Yeah, exactly. When you don't want to move but you want to eat,
Yeah.
let's deliver it right into your gut.
Yeah. Are you spending the day doing nothing?
Yeah, exactly. Let us help you do something
Yeah.
while you continue on with the nothing so
Yeah.
we can do anything.
You're welcome, Food Panda. This one is free.
Yeah, right over there.
But
Right,
you guys know the drill, right? When you're traveling all the
Of
time, or on
course,
the plane,
yeah.
all the- it is a physically demanding career.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which a lot of people don't really
realize,
factor
yeah.
in. And then as you get older, you start feeling it. It's like, I think, and it's also because I'm a fitness buff, I understand the importance of recovery.
Yeah.
How important recovery is to being fit. So it's the same with stand-up. If you're working hard on the weekends, make sure you recover.
Yeah.
I do not like hustling every single day because then another side effect of that is time flies really fast.
Yeah, if you're
And then
busy,
before
yeah.
you know it, your life has just passed you by. So
Yeah.
the only way I find to really feel like I've lived long enough is
Yeah.
to slow down. So when you slow down and you have nothing for the day just seems longer. But if you're busy, the day's gone like this.
So, okay.
And
Yeah,
then
you are actually
before you
saying
know it, you're
everything-
55 and you're just like, what happened to my teeth? You know,
You're saying everything that Vivek does not believe in. This is amazing.
that's why I'm saying it
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I know him.
He's looking
Yeah.
at you. He's
I was
like,
looking
what
at
is
him, I'm
this
like,
nonsense?
so let me understand the logic behind your activity of not doing anything.
Yeah.
You decided to prolong my life,
Yeah.
so I feel like the day didn't just zoom by. I'm going to now do nothing, hence accomplishing nothing, basically. Whereas, the,
but it's not like I'm not accomplishing anything.
yeah, but then you do.
What
okay.
I am accomplishing is
Yeah.
quality time.
What is your quiet time?
Just spend time by yourself. Watch something that you like, or
Yeah.
cook some food.
Yeah.
You know, do a little bit of herbal
But that is
meditation.
something.
Yeah.
You know,
Herbal
But that-
meditation
have you
is
tried
great.
herbal
Yeah.
Herbal meditation? No, I haven't.
I would thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah, well,
it's available in Thailand. The quick flight over.
Legal disclaimer.
Yeah.
We are not responsible for the statements that our guests make.
And this is definitely not sponsored by Food Panda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a different kind of food panda, man. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the day comes. Let's say it's a Monday, right? You wake
Yeah.
up today. When do you establish that today's a nothing day?
The night before.
The night before.
Or sometimes it could be on the day itself, and I wake up and I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm taking the day
All
off.
right, but what if you've already, let's say on Monday you don't feel like you did it. Tuesday you didn't feel like you did it. And on Wednesday
Yeah.
you're like, crap, I don't feel like either.
Yeah, I don't. I
You
won't
let
be
us
on
sleep into this
Yeah,
week as
but
well?
that's the whole point, right? Like Mo and I were discussing this yesterday, that the biggest success of all of our careers right
Yeah.
now is not money.
Yeah.
It's the freedom.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
freedom
Yeah.
to just be like, I don't feel like doing anything today, so I won't do it. You know?
But then my curiosity is, okay, so you seem to have a system of like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So there's like a rule that you set for yourself.
Yeah.
However, if it passes the 2 days a week, you're allowed to be flexible and make it 3 days a week.
Yeah, I took 3 weeks at a go once when my depression kicked in real hard.
Yeah.
I took 3 weeks off and didn't do
Yeah.
anything for 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
it really helped. So when I came back after the 3 weeks, I was ready
Yeah.
to go. As opposed to, when you're struggling and then you say, I'll still power through. But then you're prolonging that struggle. So
Yeah.
what took me 3 weeks to recover peacefully would have taken me maybe a couple of months if I was still trying to get work done, I was still traveling, I was still doing shows, etc., etc.
Now, during the 3 weeks then, okay, let's be a bit more serious now. During those 3 weeks, were there things that you needed to do, had to do? It was just more like just go with the flow, follow your gut?
It was, it got to a point where it was something as simple as, okay, let's just do 3 things today.
Yeah.
Just 3 things.
Yeah.
Whether it was, cooking a meal.
Yeah.
That's
Brushing teeth
that's
and-
one, brushing
yeah,
teeth.
yeah,
That's another one.
Yeah.
Making sure you have enough hydration. So you make sure you finish 2 liters of water, and that's my 3 things. And that gives me a sense of accomplishment, and that's good enough for me to go to the next day.
Yeah.
Because depression is a motherfucker.
Or you can also work yourself to the ground, which is the Vivek Babani model.
Yeah, and then once you're dead, you're not depressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every
exactly.
time you
There
feel
you go.
that coming up, you just push it down
Yeah.
by taking on so much more work.
Yeah, just bury it all at the bottom. No one's gonna.
Absolutely.
And then you come back home at 2 a.m. going, I don't have energy to even be depressed.
Yeah, that's another way
That's
to
the whole
do
point.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
see, it's like going to the gym when you're all upset and everything. You're lifting weights so heavy.
You're taking it
that-
out in the gym.
Yeah, you're taking it out of the gym. And the point is that you don't even have the mental capacity to be
Yeah.
upset by that item anymore.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept. Like, instead of you going to the gym and lifting weights and putting back for other people, strangers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, life's terrible.
Yeah.
But instead of me sitting around looking in the window, going like, you know what, dude, I love me. I'm gonna. I decide. I'm like, dude. Right?
I love me.
Yeah.
Hate yourself, okay? If you really want to succeed in life, kids, you gotta hate yourself.
Yeah, right.
Do
It's-
not take any time off.
I don't allow the capacity to be depressed.
Yes.
Hence,
Yeah.
that way, not only am I not depressed.
Capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have the option. The button is
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like,
Vivek is more Indian than I could ever be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yo.
dude, I grew up in a Chinese community, being Indian.
Yeah.
Surrounded by English speakers who just wanted. The first word I learned was money.
Yeah.
You know. But okay. Let's take a step back now. Okay, so now you everything's good now.
Oh, yeah,
And you
yeah.
decided. Okay, what was the point that you said? All right, the 2 day a week thing. What was the more like the moment of clarity where you're like, all right, you know what? I think this is the number I need.
It just seemed realistic. 2 days was good enough because
Yeah.
I then spent the remaining the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Editing stuff, shooting stuff I need to post, etc. Preparing for any bits that I want to record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And post next week. So I'll do a lot of topical comedy, so stuff that's in the news.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that.
Yes.
soon.
Yeah.
Stuff that's in the news. If I can write a few minutes on that, and then workshop it and record it over the weekend, and then on Monday it's out.
Yeah.
So for me, the aim is to strike a balance, because if I know how hectic the week's about to get, I know how much rest I need at the start of the week.
Yeah.
So as opposed to when you have a 9-to-5 job, you work first and then you rest.
Yeah.
I start the week differently. I'm like, okay, based on the amount of work that's going to happen on the weekend,
I'm going to rest first.
I'm going to rest
Yeah,
first.
see.
We get,
Yeah.
I think that's also
get
some
it.
professional
Yeah.
athletes do that when they're
Yeah.
like the day of the game or whatever. They
Yeah.
don't really they
Yeah.
conserve the energy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like warm up and whatever right
Yeah.
before, but before
Yeah.
that you're like doing like
Yeah.
nothing.
Because also what happens is with the audience, what the fans see is they see you on stage. You get up on stage, you kill, and you get off, and it's all glamorous.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's sound and lights and music and jokes. What they don't see is you packing a bag full of equipment, putting that bag into the car, driving yourself to the airport, then taking that bag through security, unpacking, taking all of that out,
all the
and proving
boring.
to the cops that you're
nothing-
not carrying a bomb.
Yeah.
And then putting all of that back in, and then hauling it to the hotel, then hauling it to the club, setting up the tripod, making sure the frames are right, the light's good, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So they do not see what happens before and after, and that's it is physically exhausting.
Yeah.
And I think one aspect where you and I are quite alike is how we are so particular about how every single component of our work fits.
Yeah.
You're gonna make sure everything's right. The sound has to be perfect.
Yeah.
The light, everything. So when you do all of that, and then you factor in the amount of effort it takes, then it just becomes easy to just rest, and you don't feel guilty about it. Because I know that the past weekend was insane because the last week was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I wrote a bit. I workshopped it, then flew to another city with my gear, recorded it, got back, edited the video, the audio, all of that stuff, and then posted it all in 5 days. And that's a 24-minute video.
Wow.
A 24-minute stand-up clip.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of like getting some fragments of what you receive when you post stuff like this, because the backstory is that obviously you're here in Hong Kong, you were doing your show last night.
Yeah.
Did great. We had a full house.
Yeah.
You did amazing.
Thank you.
Leading up to the gig, we were like posting some collaborative videos.
Yeah.
So which means people who comment on the stuff, we get it as well as promoters. And you posted that video. When did you post the first teaser?
The teaser was
on
probably
Instagram.
about 3 days ago.
Right. And the full video dropped on YouTube
A couple
when?
of days ago. Yeah.
A couple of days ago.
Just
exactly.
before I flew out to Hong Kong.
Which was obviously deliberate, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But then just last night, after you got off stage in Hong Kong time, I think people were catching up to the video.
Yeah.
And then we started getting the hate comment or the crazy comments.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
So after all this work, the comments are still majority like hate and all this stuff?
So that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
With the algorithm, if you want content to go viral, if it's divisive or if it stirs emotions that are negative, it travels faster.
Obviously,
With the kind of comedy that I do, you do political humor in India, it's always going to be a divided room. It's never going to be everyone. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And the people who agree with you in silence. Whereas the people who disagree with you disagree
will let you know.
very loudly
Yeah.
through fake accounts.
Yeah.
Because obviously they also have jobs that you don't want to get fired from.
Right,
For
absolutely,
being
When they go, you should burn in hell or whatever.
Yeah. So what's happening right now is people have obviously not understood the intent behind what I'm saying. They've taken bits and pieces out of context and saying, okay, this is what he's saying about us. And again, for some reason, they become the victims again.
Yeah.
And now that there are calls for my arrest and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to just stay back at Vivek's place for a couple of
I
weeks.
think I figured it out. Subconsciously, I think what you're really doing with the 2 days a week rest is you're preparing for jail time.
Yeah.
You're literally
doing nothing.
You're training yourself. You're like, it's a
training
matter of
myself to
time.
do nothing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? 5 days
So
while you're in the yard.
if I get 6 months, I'll be like, that's just 6 months of my Monday, Tuesday
Yeah,
off.
exactly. You're like, that's actually,
I'm used to
for others, it's
it.
actually just 2 weeks.
I mean, honestly, there is some also, this is a real account of A_girl_from_India. And her comment is, you fucking kicking loser, a terrorist supporter, go to your whores.
No, not even whores.
Go to your whores.
Whores. Oh, wow.
But this is a normal, this is
Yeah, which also underlines the importance of education and spelling.
Yeah.
You know?
But this is what happens when you skip school 2 days a week.
2 days a week. Yeah. I think she took more than 3 days. More than 2 days.
She took many days.
She took many days off from school.
Another one, you're not bold, you're just desperate for attention by mocking your own people. If disrespecting India is if the idea of punchline, your comedy career is already the biggest joke. Sell out.
Wow.
Sell out. Yeah.
All right, hold on. How can people contribute to this comment, okay? What was your handle again? Something Danny, right?
Absolutely, Danny.
Absolutely, that's what it was. Yeah,
People
oh my
can
God,
go,
dude. I'm like,
people can go
my
and
brain-
respond to only one Akarsh AKA RSH.
So I tell you what, everybody right over here just to mess with the algorithm, right? Because clearly right now the algorithm knows all the haters and everything. And I would try to reverse it just to mess with Instagram to make them get confused. Like if everyone puts nothing but positive messages, just to see what happens. Like, it'd be such a cool experiment. Like
Instagram will crash.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg will have to take 2 days off.
Yeah.
It's just like, what happened? Why are people happy? Why are they getting along?
Absolutely, Danny. Do pause the podcast right now. Go there right now. Quickly, random any clip. Just click on it.
Yes.
Leave a comment and just be like, "This is hilarious." All right, just do that.
Best comedy I've
best
ever
comedian.
seen.
Start like hearting random comments of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do all that stuff. Right.
That's actually my way of also just like flaming the fire sometimes. Just like your heart random comments.
Yeah.
And then it's like
just do that. Yeah, exactly.
going.
Yeah.
And what the experiment really number one is this, to see if it messes with your algorithm. Like all of a sudden you're like, where are the haters? I don't get it, right? That's only nothing but people who love my shit. And secondly, that's a very good way. You know how Instagram, when you go to search, and even without searching for dirty women in bikinis,
It shows up.
right? With doing this, it might show up more of your clips.
Yeah.
Hence hiding all those women in bikini clips.
Yeah.
Hence, if one day you're at work at the water cooler, and by mistake you'll load up your Instagram, Danny just saved your ass.
Well, if my girls in bikini clips get replaced with Danny videos, I'll be very upset.
Well, Mo, that's a good experiment. Why don't you can try right now and comment and be like, where are the girls in bikinis?
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, you forgot letting my comment change my algorithm.
Well, how are you used to this, by the way? Like, this is obviously like just the last video, but you've had it for a while.
I mean,
how did you ever get used to it?
It means nothing to me. Like, so what I've come to realize over the years is that when people do this,
Yes.
they are not actually telling you what they don't like about you. They're telling you what they don't like about themselves.
Right.
Oh, hold on. Load up that woman's whore
Like,
comment.
if-
Let's dissect.
let's analyze-
Let's
yes,
analyze
Let's
that.
analyze
The
her.
whore.
Yes.
The whore. All right, so
Okay,
let's get her
yeah.
comment. Let's read it out
Yes,
properly
a
for everyone
girl
to
from
see.
India is her
Yeah.
account.
Yeah, but
Yes, and
what is the
_girl _
you fucking with many C's, loser with 2 O's. Yeah, the
Loser.
spelling is
Yeah.
really all over the
so
place.
when you see the spelling is all over the place,
Yeah.
loser. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
could be weight loss issues.
Actually,
she's
yeah.
trying to lose
She's
some
a loser,
kilos.
yeah.
I'm trying to feel loser.
You are in
That's
fact
not
pretty fit,
happening.
so I think maybe she is jealous.
So she's jealous.
She's like,
she's
how
projecting.
you
I mean,
lose?
if you look at, there you go. Come
Yeah,
on.
she needs to go to the gym.
She needs to go.
She does, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, as you can see, one of her clips right now, the only weight she's carrying is her phone.
and her insecurity.
Yeah, and insecurity, exactly right
Yeah.
over there. Okay, so she's doing that. First of all,
So
that's interesting.
you know.
So you fucking with a lot of
It's like,
C's.
You fucking
Yeah,
loser.
which again, like let's think about like with FUCK, right? Would you put the emphasis on the C's or more the K?
it's usually the you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, she's
The
like-
girl's like fuck. So it hints at constipation as well.
Yeah, exactly,
It's like
yeah.
she's trying to get it out, but it's not getting out.
So what's happening right now? Right? You know, like when you have all that weight of your body,
Yeah.
pressing against your butt,
Yeah.
and like your anus is like just squished in.
Yeah.
Probably that's what's happening every day. She's going to the toilet. She's like, sit, you know,
Yeah.
and it's stuck with it, and she's trying to get out of it. She's like, I couldn't shit,
It's
so I can't get out. Right?
possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
And then she's got looser.
Loser.
Right?
Yes.
Looser. Yeah.
You're
it's-
loser.
It's actually a looser.
Loser. Yeah.
It's LOOSER's loser.
Yeah, that's
loser.
true.
as in-
Loser, yeah, it's got
No,
loser,
like
so-
looser than
Like,
something.
it's
Yes,
tight.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
So what
tight.
she's saying is, you fucking loser. What's happening? What she's trying to say is that your dick is so big that when you finish fucking, everything
You
is
are,
looser.
you are actually, yes.
Right?
It's a compliment,
It's a compliment.
basically.
It's an adjective,
She's jealous,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then the comma, she doesn't have. See what she's trying to say with looser and then comma A with no space between.
No space between the
No
commas.
space between the comma because no time for that shit,
Yeah,
man.
there's no
thick thumbs, dude.
There's no days off between
no-
the commas.
And then
Just get back
exactly,
to
yeah,
it.
right over there, right?
Yeah.
And then a terrorism supporter. And then this time though, she has comma and space after
She
that.
took a day off. She took
Yeah,
a day off.
she was like, hold on a second, I think my teacher taught me something.
Yeah.
Go to your whores.
Who's?
Whores.
Is she trying to say whores or is that a racist term for
I have this. This is just illiteracy.
maybe we should just
I'll just file this under illiteracy.
maybe we should be like, what do you mean by whore?
Yeah.
For those of you wondering, it's spelled HOORS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Which,
doors, but H.
Apparently, whore is a disreputable or crafty person.
Yeah, that doesn't. That's definitely not what she meant.
The other one's
But the other one,
Is what?
is prostitute. So
okay.
Okay.
So she actually did go.
But I don't think she knows.
She doesn't know that. Yeah, she doesn't know that. Yeah, she doesn't know that. Yeah, exactly. So right over here, what do you? Yeah, right over here. What do you mean by who? Yeah, okay, unpleasant or difficult thing. Okay. So what her comment was, real quick again. She decided to first of all compliment you on the fact that your dick is big.
Yeah.
Anything you fuck gets loose.
Yes.
Right.
Go to your whores.
Yeah, and then she said a terrorism supporter.
Yes, terrorism supporter.
Okay,
and is that because the video? Like, actually, funny enough, they actually went like this is just the post. They're commenting on the post of him coming to Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
There's no video.
There's no video.
They're just finding random posts. Of him to just comment on, and which is now me and the other promoter are.
This is what happens when people take 2 days off a week. They have time to comment.
Yeah.
Do you see me?
This is more than 2 days.
Yes.
No. Don't underestimate how much time it took her to put that sentence together.
Yeah. but here's the kicker. Okay.
Yes.
All of this outrage because my video says that nuclear war is not a good idea.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like
it's obviously very inflammatory position.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an inflammatory position to say, hey guys, I understand there's a conflict going on, but let's try and not go nuclear.
Yeah.
Do what we got to do, pull back when we have to pull back, make a statement, but let's not go all out because we are dealing with a country that's unstable. Pakistan is a failed rogue nation. Let's be really honest. They've shielded every possible terrorist they could, and no one's denying that, right?
Right. I just watched the Bin Laden documentary.
Exactly.
On Netflix.
Exactly. Doesn't it make your blood boil?
Yeah. It's pretty mental how much they were like. So he, spoiler alert, they killed him. It wasn't the Pakistanis. In fact, where the last spot he was in, where they killed him, is right next to a Pakistani military base.
Wow.
And the Americans had to fly under the radar to go, and because they knew that the Pakistanis would probably tip him off,
they cannot be trusted.
If they work with, they cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is just. I'm not. By the way. Your statement in Pakistan, I don't know enough to support or deny. But like the Bin Laden thing is what happened.
Yeah. So I'll give an example. So even now, when India retaliated, right, and they struck the terrorist centers in Pakistan, they killed relatives and family members of a very notable terrorist who we were forced to release when the Kandahar hijack happened in the 90s, right? So that guy is still alive, and we managed to wipe out a bunch of his family members. And when the funeral was held, there were members of the Pakistani army who attended the funeral. So there's no debating that Pakistan is a rogue nation that supports and their army and the government supports terrorists.
Yeah,
right. And I'm with you on that. But my point being is. They are terrorists who have nuclear missiles.
Yeah, dude.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if a lot of these people who are calling for an out and out war understand what is going to happen should it get to a point where there is a nuclear attack.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
And Pakistan has second strike capabilities like most nuclear nations do. So it's not like, we can, hide the nuclear missile under a cloud. They won't see it coming. And then before they can react, no.
Yeah, we'll know. Yeah.
No. So it isn't so much as me being a sympathizer for Pakistan. It's me being a sympathizer for life in general. I think we would all like to live, because if this goes nuclear, it's not just India and Pakistan who's affected, it's the whole world. That is why America stepped in. Because America is like, don't fuck with our tariff stuff that we're doing right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, it also would be like a proxy war, right? Because that's why, the West traditionally took the Indian side and then China and Russia and whatever took the other side. But also, the whole concept of the nuclear arms is mutual assured destruction.
Yes.
So that's like the Indians know.
Nobody wins. Nobody wins.
Nobody wins, and that's why we never do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the whole Russian missile crisis back then. Was like it got that close.
It got that close. Yeah. And one man stopped it. One man stopped it.
Yeah. Because
one
man stopped it. We're gonna fuck ourselves too.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Use your head, man.
So you're saying stuff that is like such like common sense.
It's common sense. Of course, it's peppered with a lot of jokes. And what happens with a lot of people who get angry with jokes is they mistake the punchline for a belief system. It's not a belief system. A punchline is like a fart. It happens in the moment. There's a reaction, and then it dissipates. You're not supposed to hold on to it and be like, "That's what he believes." No, that
what was a punchline like that people got upset by in that video?
Like, for example, one of the common arguments with people who do not want to go to war, from people who do want to go to war, in this context, and the people would say stuff like, "What if one of your family members was killed by a terrorist? Would you still want peace?"
Right.
So the punchline there is, I thought about it, and who does not have one or two family members they wouldn't like to see shot to the head?
Right. Yeah.
Which they have now assumed to be me making fun of the victims of the attack. Which, no, this is a joke about family dynamics.
Yeah.
Where we, as much as we pretend that we all love each other and get along, we don't.
Of course.
There's a lot of rivalry within families. There's a lot of anger and hatred within families. And that's why the joke gets the laugh. It has nothing to do with the victims.
Yeah.
And then I immediately follow it up by saying that's a very valid question. And I think it's a question that every Indian should ask themselves. What if one of your family members was killed by a terrorist?
Yeah.
And so I show a little grace over there. I show empathy. I show, that
you get it. I
get it.
Yeah, I'm thinking it too. I'm not just commenting.
I'm not punching down on this. But the thing is, the writing is obviously layered. And these are people, they spell losers with two O's. So I don't have high expectations on people who spell loser with two O's.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was also in the Indian comedy scene, there has been a few incidents, like you're still so far getting off quite easy. There have been incidents of violence, right?
There was one incident of vandalism.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow.
So which again was so hilarious. Like, you got to hear this story, right?
Yeah.
So this Kunal Kamra, he's another comedian, very political, very funny. And he's probably like he does it in Hindi, so his reach is far more than mine, because with my work it probably stops at tier 2 cities. After that, the people in the villages or in country India don't really get it, and they're like, it's not for them, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But with him, it reaches every corner of the country. When he speaks, it reaches every corner of the country. But the video that he dropped was quite. He was doing jokes about the chief minister of Maharashtra, where the club is located.
Right.
And this is a club where the habitat where a lot of comedy clips are recorded. So if you
you have a lot of them.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
Both my specials were recorded there.
Yeah.
So that's a very popular, probably the most popular club in the country. So, and everybody knows where that is. So when he dropped the video and it went viral instantly.
Right.
Now people from the party that were upset, like their henchmen or whoever, like the party workers, they thought that he's at the club.
Right.
Because I saw him on my phone. This is where he is.
Yes.
Let's go get him
there.
He lives there. So
it's his habitat.
Yeah, it's his
I
habitat.
can still imagine like this guy has those cork boards at home with those strings attached. Video in this place. This place on map.
Yes.
This man must be there. All right, let's go.
And then this whole gang of maybe 30-40 people show up, and there's another show going on. This Kunal's video was recorded months ago.
Right.
He's not there. And they show up over there and where is Kunal? Where is Kunal? Where is he? And people are like, he's not here.
Yeah.
They're like, rubbish, I saw him. He was here an hour ago.
Yeah.
So you got to understand.
That's the mentality.
That's the mentality
That's the level of
the people we're dealing with. But at the same time, they do not represent the entire country.
Yeah.
Of course.
They represent a very small percentage of the people in India, which is, in my opinion, a great country where people genuinely just want to fucking take care of themselves.
Of course.
Give their family a nice lives and a nice life, sorry, and try and make the most of whatever comes their way. They're not interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
These are games played by people in power for votes, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And
keep them divided.
Keep them divided. Keep them angry. Give them something to
be upset about.
So it's like a game of chess, and all of these people are pawns.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so they showed up because I remember the video.
Yeah.
And it was just them destroying everything.
There's a video of them showing up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ironically,
it's
does the video? It's only in the venue itself, right? Because it'll be cool if they shot their own video selfieing themselves. We're gonna go to this place now, and Kunal.
It's like the 6th of January protesters.
Yeah.
Incriminating themselves.
Yeah. So they recorded the videos themselves.
Yeah.
And then Kunal took the same videos that they posted.
And went to them?
Yeah. And what he did in this special was he had parody songs about how the country is going in a very different direction than it should.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, you know, instead of being progressive, we are going into a very regressive space. That's the gist of the song.
Yeah.
Except now what he did was, instead of him singing the song on stage, he took the same song and then he used that as a backing track for them vandalizing the venue.
Oh.
And it went even more viral.
Amazing.
People lost their shit even more.
Yeah.
So I think what these people need to do is take a step back, you know, just try and just sit over it for a while, understand what is going on over here. But I don't think they have the capacity to do that. So it's just get angry, react, get angry, react, get angry, react. And if you watch these clips, there are men in those clips that are easily 60, 65 plus. There's some older gentlemen in there.
Yes.
And I felt really bad. I mean, imagine being
like taking stuff, just smashing it on the floor is like, why though?
Imagine being a 65-year-old and that is what you're doing with your life.
Yeah.
You should be, you know, getting ready to retire, spending time with your grandkids, just kicking your feet up, take more than 2 days off in a week.
Yeah.
But it genuinely made me sad to see that this is what that person's life is reduced to. Just being a thug.
Yeah.
The whole.
But for what? Like, because the comedian made a joke about let's say the mayor, for simplicity. Like some political figure.
Who genuinely.
Yeah, that's insane. That's an insane way to think of, like, hey, you attacked my idol.
Yeah.
Who's not even like, you know, your dad or whatever.
Yeah.
Some guy who runs a city.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna go break a place.
Thing. Yeah.
That's
I think
it's really hard to wrap your head around.
I think honestly the two of you have just reinforced my belief system of keeping yourself busy. Like, I wouldn't have time. I would watch the video. I'm like, dude, I have my schedule full. I can't come and vandalize the place, dude. I got a meeting at 4.
I think, like, for me, I think I can't think of anyone who I don't know personally that I would do that for, you know?
Exactly.
Like, if someone comes to, you know, talk shit about you guys,
you might be like, hey, hold on.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
I'll stand up for it. Yeah.
But then if I like who's one, we just watched Hans Zimmer. We went on about how amazing he is.
Yeah.
If someone is talking shit about Hans Zimmer, or like someone's like, hey, he's a fucking terrorist.
Yeah, I'll tell him fuck off and just walk away.
White supremacist. I'm like,
okay.
I don't think so, but like,
sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you know what? He's on tour, you're not, but okay, go on.
I'll be like, hey, you're a fucking idiot. That's maybe the maximum I will do. Like, you're an idiot for thinking that.
And also the effort it takes to log in, write a comment, misspell it, and fuck up the punctuation.
They know it's a misspelling because the red quiggly thing is underneath. They know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. To do all of that, it is so much easier to just scroll up.
Yeah.
Just not just do that. And Mo
just
and I were discussing this yesterday as well. A lot of this comes from self-worth. This
They feel like they're entitled. I have to say I'm somebody.
If you tie your self-worth to nationalism, patriotism, stuff that... I'm not saying don't love your country. Love your country, but you had nothing to do with you being Indian.
Yeah.
You didn't apply to be Indian.
Yeah,
in some previous life. Okay, next time.
Defaulted to that character.
You were just born there. It happened by chance. India is a great country. If you want to love the country, great. But your self-worth needs to come from things that you have done, your own achievements.
Yes.
And I find that people who don't have their own achievements to fall back on fill that void.
Yeah,
with
by
stuff
crushing other people.
By saying, you know, I'm proud to be a part of this religion. I'm proud to be part of this country, which is great. But what else have you done?
Oh, yeah.
And if the manifestation of your pride for your nation or your religion is abusing other people, attacking them, vandalizing them, that's not a... It's not a pretty picture, is it?
Yeah.
Right, and especially if you're talking about religion, like whatever the religion is, a lot of the essence of it is usually something very noble.
And whoever
is
peaceful,
and whoever is like, you know, the leader, let's say Jesus for simplicity, or Buddha or whatever, they would not agree with how you're manifesting that your subscription to that religion
and how you're using that religion as a weapon. Exactly. Like if whichever religion, no God is going to be like, that's what I've been talking about.
Exactly.
Like, hit him hard. Dude.
No
he wants to take 2 days off, and it's not a Sunday.
Fuck him up,
How dare him?
I built the whole world and took only 1 day off. I built the whole fucking world. I took one day off. This motherfucker did what? He put a video on YouTube and he's like, I'm done. Shut the fuck up, man.
Dude.
Fair enough, man.
But at the same time, there is a lot of you guys in India, like young comedians who have been touring very excessively. And a lot of you, not just are very different, but a lot of you touch on the political stuff. Is there no like fear in like how far does it go when it comes to like your own safety and stuff like this?
I don't think every comedian touches upon politics the way Kunal, myself, and there's another comedian called Varun Grover. There's three of us who talk
more
about
vocal, yeah,
who are more vocal. The rest, they don't, not to my knowledge at least.
They don't because
it's understandable. It's not that they don't have the skill to do it. It's just that they don't want to deal with the hassle.
But
that
I'm
comes
curious,
with
like for those that don't do it, is it that they did a bit here and there, or they've never been the political type?
They've probably seen what has happened to people who do it, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I don't want this."
Oh yeah, fair enough. They don't want to play that game, right?
completely fair.
Yeah, it's like watching rugby. You're like, yeah, you know, I'll play snooker.
Yeah,
I'm good.
exactly. And that's a personal call. For me, that's just the kind of comic I've always been, and it's not. I don't see myself as a political comedian. I just see myself as a social commentary. Commentary. You know, there's this that's happened. There's that happened. Like you saw the show last night. It had there was like no jokes about politics.
No,
it was such a personal show.
Yeah.
So all of us have the capacity to talk about everything that we find interesting or bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a certain group of people, and believe me, it's a very small percentage of the entire population, but it's a very loud percentage.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always the case.
So it kind of makes you feel like it's more people than there are. It's not actually. So for them, it's just not for them. So what's happening right now, all the people who are getting offended by comedy, especially, and not just India, all over the world, it's people who have no business consuming that art form.
Yes.
That's always the case, right? Yeah, it's always
It's not for them.
It's the art critic who can't do the art piece.
Yeah.
But they're like, let me tell you how Baroque did it. It's like, you can't even play the piano. Shut up.
But these guys have not even understood what stand-up is. They think stand-up is a speech.
It's a statement. Yeah.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
He means what he's saying.
Right.
No, that's not what it is.
Oh man, yeah. The education factor, though, however, I think it's one of those things that in Asian culture itself, that it's a very like, I need to show that I'm the righteous person versus you.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the whole like, you know, oh, there's drama. I know what drama is. I know what theater is. Like this guy's talking, I talk.
Yeah.
So that means, you know, am I a comedian now? It's like no, it's not the same thing.
I laugh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I should find
I am
this
entitled.
funny.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
You know, having a sense of humor is not the same as the ability to laugh. They're two different things.
But and I also stand-up, I think, it's one of the most accessible forms of art in terms of starting.
And it's a very working class art form.
Very
right?
working class art
It's
form.
right there.
Yeah.
Like if you want to, like for example, Hans Zimmer, like you said, it's not the average person.
I'm going to Hans Zimmer. No, it doesn't go that way. Yeah.
But you can start. A lot of people can start stand-up now and become the best in the world in X number of years if they have what it takes, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So because of that, people feel like. And it's also because of the simplicity of doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's just a guy talking. Even you can even take away the mic in certain formats. You can take away the mic and the light.
Yeah.
Just like have one person in a room talking to other people and you're doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it feels like you're just talking to them, right?
Yeah.
But you don't understand the use of like manipulating the language to elicit laughter
the writing,
or whatever.
Yes, the layers that goes into it. There's a lot of psychology behind what we're saying.
Yeah.
So
have you ever thought about taking revenge by simply going to, let's say, old folks' homes and performing for their parents? And then their parents are brainwashed by your content. And then they tell their kids, I think it's a good idea. And the kid's like, how can you talk like this, Dad? Atomic war? I mean, one of those things.
But it's so hilarious. I was telling Mo this yesterday.
Yeah, I was thinking of that as well.
In the last 1 year, the demographics of my audience in India has changed, where people are now bringing their parents to the shows. And I have a lot of older fans.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning? Have you ever asked, like, why'd you bring your parents? Are they like, we want to hate them and give them a heart attack? What's going on?
So the reasoning is, a lot of my younger fans they like my work, and they kind of they share clips now. On
would you say, like, you're saying certain things that they wish they could say but they can't, but they bring their parents?
It's possibly,
and they were trying to test the parents, like, he laughed at that.
That's another angle, like where people are like, okay, this is the kind of show my parents need to watch, so I'll go watch it. But also now, because people are sharing a lot of videos on family WhatsApp groups, I'm guessing they're having a conversation like, hey, you want to come? Like, but I also have much older fans who come to the show by themselves. So I once had a show in Mumbai last year where there was this older lady with two of her sons, and I could not tell who was the bringer. You know what I mean? What I mean by the bringer?
Yeah.
I'm the fan.
Did she bring the sons, or did the sons bring her?
So I was like, who? because there was nobody young there. Like so she was easily about 80, 85.
Wow.
That old. Her sons were in their 60s.
Wow.
And I was like, whose idea was this?
Yeah.
And the mother goes, it was mine. And I'm like, what?
What was the reasoning?
So I
it would be funny if the whole family has Alzheimer's and they have no idea.
No idea. Yeah, exactly.
They're like, whose idea? Who are you?
Why am I here? It's supposed to be my day off.
Yeah. It was more like whose idea?
Yes.
So I asked her, I said, okay, if you don't mind me asking, like, so you follow my work? She's like, yes. And she's like, I watch a lot of your stuff on YouTube and I've always wanted to watch you live. So when I saw you were coming, I told my sons, listen, we're going, let's go.
Yeah.
And if you actually think about it, a lot of our parents are spending all their time on the phones.
Yeah.
Especially if you're retired.
Of
That's
course.
all you're doing. So they are watching our stuff.
Yeah.
And now what I've seen is that the older audience is like, hang on, I don't want to just sit on my couch all day.
Yeah.
Let me go watch. He's coming to Mumbai.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch.
And that also works for you as the artist because they are the ones who have the real money.
They have money.
True. And in the economic, in the economy now, the young people have less money.
They have the real money. They don't have the technical skills to leave comments.
Yes. It's like the perfect audience member.
Wow.
And you won't believe it, Vivek. You would assume, and you've seen the kind of comedy I do. So you wouldn't place somebody bringing their mom or dad.
You'd be like, are you sure?
I'm talking about something. So when I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. Bro, they laugh harder than the younger folks.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a couple of older ladies last night as well. Yeah. They were such good audience.
Yeah.
Like there was a lady even before you went up, when I was up, she was laughing at inappropriate times that it actually threw me off and I had to address it. But she was having so much fun. And she's maybe 65, 70-year-old Indian woman. I'm like, this is definitely not our usual crowd.
I have two theories for what happened, all right?
Yeah.
Theory number one, she was laughing off time.
Yeah.
It's either she can see the future or she's so slow that the joke had to take 2 seconds to hit the head. Either way, she still got the joke. That's number one.
I actually thought you were going to make fun of my accent by going but by the time she processed what I was saying.
She's like, wait, what's Tutankhamun saying? I don't get this.
He didn't build the pyramids?
What the hell? What is right. The other option is, how every generation before us tells us that we're soft compared to them? Yeah. Maybe they're seeing your stuff going finally someone is speaking my language where it's this is what we should be, this is the kind of talk we should be doing.
And I think this is a mistake on the part of the younger generations. We tend to infantilize our parents, our grandparents. Hey, what do they know? They're old, they don't know. But man, they've seen some shit that you have not.
I guarantee
they've been through some
our generation's life is so much easier in so many ways.
Exactly.
A lot of our struggles is still within the in a room, in a building.
It's within the confines of extreme privilege.
Exactly, and extreme safety.
Exactly.
We didn't really have to deal with a lot of safety
running
issues.
Around,
running around, carrying obviously depends where you came from or whatever.
Fleeing a country. A lot of our parents have spent their entire marriages living in different countries because the husband had to go there for work and couldn't take the family. I know so many of my friends whose mom and dad
common, go to the Gulf.
Go to the Gulf.
Same for us. We also go to the Gulf. Everyone just goes to where the money is.
So
lots of Indians, lots of Middle Eastern.
So the men are in the Gulf. The families are back home, and they spend their entire adult lives like that.
Yeah, because there's no internet. They couldn't talk. At most, a phone call.
You get a phone call once a week.
Yeah, sometimes you get a cassette tape. I have cassette tapes from my uncles and my grandpas. Yeah. When they were sending it from Iraq, it's mixtapes. My grandpa just dropped a tape.
Was that a podcast or
They were doing podcast.
Oh my God.
That was podcast before.
That's adorable.
They sent their episode over every
This part of the podcast is brought to you by Food Panda. It's not around, but I feel in the future it's going to be huge.
It was brought to you by Iraq Airlines. Delivered it.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then they would come twice a year, as you said, for holiday or whatever. And now the kids call it long distance relationship.
Yeah. For them it was life.
It was just life.
Yeah.
The husband fucked off. You had a couple of kids and then that's it.
Yeah. Figure it out. He'll come back any moment now. He has to be ready.
And every time you come back, your kid looks completely different.
Yeah.
He's every time you deal with a different human.
Yeah.
And I could never imagine doing something like that.
Same.
So they've been through stuff. So for me, one of the biggest joys at live shows is when I now see older folks in the audience and they're having a great time. It makes me so much more happy. It makes me happier than the young guys. Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
To make somebody from a different time laugh at the stuff that you're saying based on your experiences today.
So your generation.
If you're still able to connect on some level and they can still feel that, it means, man, that's magic right there.
Wow.
I genuinely, like, I'm thinking about it as well. The number of times people say nice things after shows.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the times it's actually the older folks than the younger folk.
Yeah.
Like the younger folk can say something like nice job, good job, or whatever. Yeah. The people who take the time a lot of the times to come and say something, it's usually the older people. That now that I'm thinking about it, it's so interesting.
Wow.
But maybe it's also they are less entitled, right? Because the younger people have so many options.
And also, see, when you know you're running out of time, you kind of more measured with.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to waste my time bashing shit down.
Bashing shit up,
Again,
or I want to tell them what they think, what I really think, because I might not have another chance, right?
This is what I mean. We're back in full circle, dude. You're running out of time.
Yes.
You don't waste your time doing that stupid shit. What have I done? I know I'm not running out of time. I have the time, but I'm creating a scenario where I'm not having enough time. So that way I don't waste my time doing that kind of shit. I'd like to end the podcast on this because there's nothing more to discuss. I've established the fact that I've been correct from moment number one.
No, I mean, we still have a few minutes. Before we go, I would like to bring up something because that's also something Danny and I were talking about. How the idea of making it in this business, and we had a long discussion last night about how it's so easy to get caught into like not just the comparison with your peers, but also like what is the definition of making it. And I had to reflect when I was talking to Danny about how, like, in a lot of ways, I think I made it already by simply just opting out of the system that I absolutely hated being part of. Having a job, like, traditional job or whatever, and like doing a lot of stuff that I don't want to do, to the point that now I think I'm almost at 100% of things that I'm only doing the things I want to do.
Yeah.
The whole time. And the fact that I'm not homeless while doing that
good enough.
Is absolutely good enough.
Yeah.
And the reminder, you have to keep reminding, for me, I have to keep reminding myself that I might not be as, in comparison to my peer who I really want to be, whatever. But at the same time, like, this is a dream for me 8-9 years ago,
for sure.
when I was so fucking sad at my job and I was just hoping horrible things happen to me because I hate this. What am I doing? And you were saying the same thing about how, like, a lot of us, like, when we started, if you were saying, you can say in your own words, if you were told yourself,
So basically what the gist of the conversation was about how stand-up has become so competitive, and everyone's measuring themselves against other people. It's like, oh, he's doing a 2,000 seat, I'm not there yet. Oh, he's doing these, he's performing in these countries, and it's so easy to get lost in that pathway, comparison, and you then be like, I'm not good enough. My stand-up sucks and this and like that. I'm never going to make it. And you got to keep reminding yourself that, dude, like, so if 9 years ago, if you had to tell me, Dan, 9 years from now, you're going to do 3 weeks in Australia.
Yeah, you're like, hell no, dude.
Smash it there. You're going to go to Hong Kong. You're going to smash it there. And after that, you're going to go back to India, smash it there. And then you're going to go to Europe and smash it over there. You're going to do London, Amsterdam, and Berlin and all these places. And you're going to kill. I'd be like, man, that's the dream.
Yeah.
But now that we are here, I'm like, oh man, no, I got to do this. So the goalpost, that's one of the things, one of the side effects of being ambitious is that the goalpost is constantly shifting. You're like, okay, now, it's I'm here, but it's not good. And I want to do this. I want to do this, and it's so easy to get caught in that rat race of I got to make it, and then you're dead. Whereas so many of us fail to realize that we're already doing it. For me, I think I like what Anthony Jeselnik said. If you've not had to go to a day job, if you don't have to have a day job, and you're still able to take care of yourself, right? You have a roof over your head, meals on the table, bed to sleep on, and you can do that through stand-up, you've made it.
Absolutely.
So and we both agreed when we said this that I think the biggest success for any performing artist or a producer or somebody who's just doing something they love is the freedom, not the money. The freedom to be your own boss, to have that kind of control over your life. It'll be like, I'm going to take 2 days off. Who's going to stop me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, or I'm going to work my ass off to the point where I don't have friends anymore. It's going to stop me.
Yes, exactly.
That's the dream, man.
That's the dream.
Dude,
You're also living your dream.
Oh man, if I didn't have to have a doorbell anymore, that would be the day, man.
If I could just shut the door, just cement it and
like
not have and never.
Every time someone told me shut the front door, I'm like, that's the dream, man. That's what I'm aiming to do, dude.
Yeah. I was just having small talk with his mom outside, and she's like, "Oh," I said like, "Oh, can I help myself with some water?" She's like, "Oh yeah, feel at home." Yeah. I'm like, I'm the only one guest who's allowed here anyway.
Yeah, absolutely,
on regular basis.
On a regular, for sure.
And this is work. If it wasn't for this, no one is allowed.
Oh, yeah. This is the one thing. I think the good thing is like the wrap up that you did just now about like the real reality that people have to think about life and the meaning and what it is that you really want and everything. The sad reality is that when a whole bunch of people hear what you said, even though it's like got a lot of meaning to it, they're gonna probably leave a comment and be like, "You fucking loser." Your time is terrorizing the peeps. And you're like, what? What are you even saying?
I mean, like, you're terrorizing me with your grammar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you say terrorize, you're terrorizing.
Terrorizing.
Back to your who's.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of which, how do people find you online so they can leave hate mail?
Oh yeah, I'm available on Instagram for abuse and trolling.
Yes.
At absolutely Danny. That's where. And if you want to watch a bunch of longer videos, you go to my YouTube channel, Daniel Fernandes.
People can also leave comments
you
there,
can leave comments, abuse me over there as well, Project your insecurities onto me. I can take it.
Fine,
and where are you gonna be? We do have like actually listeners in India as well. Where are you gonna be in the next phase of your?
So I'm gonna head back to India. I'm doing a bunch of shows starting June 7th across the country, right up till right until August. The information is available in the link in my bio. After that, probably do another tour in India, and then I'm heading to Europe. So that will be in around October, November.
And that's where you'll claim asylum.
Probably,
Yes.
By the time,
let's
if
see.
we play our cards right.
Yeah, but I'm not sure when I'm returning to India now. I'm probably going to just hang out outside the country.
In the periphery.
In the periphery for a while and see how things go.
With your terrorist friends and and the Hooters.
And the Hooters.
the Hooters.
Absolutely.
I'm going to chill with some Hooters.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much for doing this, man.
Anytime.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Always.
Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for coming to the live show, Danny, as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff coming up, so stay tuned. We're about to record the Patreon as well. Patreon.com/HoHoPod, $5 a month. You can support this cool stuff. And we'll see you, Danny, on the Patreon as well.
Done.
All right. See you guys.
Cheers, guys. Bye. See you.